All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you're new. Appreciate you guys being here today. Appreciate you joining me, and appreciate you waiting patiently as always. Once again, new camera angle. Yeah, that's right. New camera angle. I promise we're not going to do a new camera angle every day, but I did a different camera angle today because yesterday I realized I was like this the whole time. So I had to readjust it. You can see a section of my wall here that's not covered. It's been like this the whole time. I know it's shocking. But in all seriousness, these foam panels I have, I'm going to have to buy a new set of foam panels and reapply them because these ones are starting to fall apart. Cats have been like messing with them and stuff sometimes, it happens. But we have some pretty exciting news, I think, to go over and cover today. The PS5 Pro announcement is imminent. When did the stream start? It's literally just started. So no worries. No worries, Matt. PS5 Pro announcement is happening tomorrow. And this was something that actually was announced by Sony right as I put my stream up, so I had to kind of tweak it a little bit. And so they did put out a blog post letting us know what to expect. They're not hyping it up too much, which I think is good. I think that's a wise way for Sony to handle this situation and this announcement in particular. So we're going to talk about what's going on with this announcement tomorrow. We're going to hear from Mark Cerny. A lot of people have been waiting to hear from Mark Cerny for a long time. But on top of that, we are going to be talking a little bit about GTA 6 because there were a lot of rumors going around yesterday that the game was actually internally delayed into 2026. And we have Jason Schreier coming out, debunking it and letting us know the situation and what's going on. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Team Asobi once again because they did actually acknowledge, the prospect of an Astro Bot 2, an Astro Bot sequel. So I'm sure there will be many other discussions that we have over the course of today's stream as well, because a lot of times we just kind of veer in other directions naturally. It just is how it goes. Yeah, again, appreciate you guys being here. Have I played more Astro? I actually didn't get the chance to play yesterday. I was a little too busy. So my hope is today I'm going to be able to tackle another chunk of Astro and progress. Very much hoping I can do that. The days have been busy lately. But yeah, we have that to talk about as well. The Sony being very sneaky. Very sneaky indeed. Sony raised the price of the Dualsense controller by $5, thinking nobody would know. Nobody would notice if they announced the PS5 Pro announcement. Very sneaky, Sony. But yeah, apparently they did raise the price of the Dualsense by $5. I have the article up here. We'll talk about that in a little while. But yeah, guys, listen, before we dive into the conversation and go over the news, I want to just thank everybody again for joining me. If you're live watching or watching live, thank you so much for that. I want to give a shout out to anybody who watches the streams later on. I know not everybody can catch it live. Do me a favor, hit that like button. We're already sitting at 83 likes, which is fantastic. I just want to say shout out to everybody hitting the like button. You guys have really been helping the channel and the streams. So keep that up. Let's see if we can push for 100 likes. Just want to let you guys know a couple of ways you can support the channel, the content, and the community directly. Number one, consider becoming a channel member. You gain access to exclusive perks, as well as exclusive member streams and gameplay streams. If you're already a channel member, the second way you can help out is by gifting memberships. We are striving for a goal of 25 memberships today. If we hit that goal, we will feed the beast, as well as the Micro Panther. If we hit 50 members, we'll throw in some reps for good measure. So big shout out to everybody who gives memberships. Really appreciate it. And the third way is you can donate a super chat, ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, anything in between. It all helps tremendously. There's a fourth bonus way, direct donation. link at the top of the chat. You can still leave a message just like you would a super chat. 100% of what you donate goes to the content creator. So thank you guys so much for the support and what you do. If it wasn't for that support, I simply wouldn't be able to keep this channel running and create this content. So thank you guys. We have Subtext with a super chat. He says, we've waited so long for this. Let's get hyped. Well, I do agree, Subtext. We have been waiting quite some time. We've been covering the PS5 Pro for what feels like forever. I mean, frankly, the PS5 Pro was something that was talked about pretty much since the PS5 came out. At that time, people just laughed at it, of course. But as the years went on, we started to hear some reports, some leaks, some rumors, and then this year the specs actually leaked out. Recently, we just saw the design leak out. And so, yeah, it's been a long time coming, the official reveal. But when it comes to how hyped we should get, I'm going to discuss that in just a moment here, because I do think that some people undoubtedly are going to end up disappointed after tomorrow, and I'm going to explain why I think that is. So we have the official blog post here from PlayStation. They say, tune in tomorrow for a PlayStation 5 technical presentation hosted by Mark Cerny. And this is going to be live streamed, so I will be live streaming it. I'm probably going to go live about an hour and a half earlier tomorrow than I normally would. It says, join us for a streamed presentation hosted by Mark Cerny, lead architect of the PS5 console. The 9-minute technical presentation will focus on PS5 and that's all they say. That is the entirety of the blog post announcing this technical presentation. And so there are a couple of reasons why I'm telling you guys that there are going to be some people tomorrow that are going to be quite negative. And I'm just putting this out there now so people are aware of what to expect. This is going to be a 9-minute stream, so it's going to be very short. This, to me, is for an obvious reason. It's going to be 9 minutes because it's meant to be very short and to the point. And because of that, you will not see game announcements tomorrow. At least I don't believe you will. I would be very surprised if you see any games tomorrow. It seems the way Sony is planning to do this is the exact same way they did it for the actual PlayStation 5 itself. For those who recall, the PlayStation 5 was first revealed and talked about by Mark Cerny in an hour-long presentation. Saying the audio is getting cut in and out. Guys, are there some audio issues? I just want to make sure before I move forward. So, yeah, some of you guys are saying the audio is off. All right, hold on. Okay, testing. Let me know. Just do me a favor. Just let me know if that continues to happen, because it's either because my wire wasn't plugged in all the way, or it's because Boss actually chewed my wire, and I'm going to need to get a new one. So if everything seems good now, that's good. Oh, it's happening all over YouTube today. Okay, maybe it's not even me then. Helldive says it's worse. Well, now you're just stressing me. It's still happening. Dude, I'm getting mixed feedback because half of you guys are saying it's fine, half of you are saying it's cutting in and out. Let me, I'm actually going to check my own stream here and see how it sounds. Okay. All right. It sounds fine. We're just going to proceed. Kane Z7, you're saying, MBG, I was avoiding Astro spoilers, but today I saw a headline on Push Square. There are no Square Enix characters in Astro. Why do you think that is? Final Fantasy has been a big thing on PlayStation consoles. I'm very sad. Yeah, I don't know. This is really strange. I have no idea. I did notice this as well, and I guess I wasn't really paying much attention to the fact that there were no Square Enix characters. This is I don't know. I mean, the way I read this is that Sony asked if they could have some Final Fantasy or Square Enix characters in Astro, and Square Enix said no. Because there's no way they didn't ask them. There's no way they were just like, nah, we're not even going to bother trying to include them. Okay. Boss, I'm going to have to escort you out of here, bro. If you start misbehaving, I'll do it. So, yeah, I'm thinking it has something to do with Square Enix just being like, no, we're not putting any of our characters in this game. It's a little weird. I don't know why. We have also Kane Z7 again saying, I'm happy for Marky Mark ASMR tomorrow. Can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be good to hear from Mark Cerny again. It's a little unfortunate that it's only going to be 9 minutes, but hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. All right, boss, this isn't going to work, dude. This isn't going to work. You're directly in my way. Piper, you're saying we're paying for Sony's bad decisions with the price hike. All right, hold on. That's warning number 1, boss. Piper, I don't know what you want me to tell you, man. Like, it's a $5 price increase. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that I'm going to throw a fit over a $5 price increase. I mean, the idea that we're paying for Sony's bad decisions, I think people are being a bit extreme with that, where it's like, yeah, I mean, is it possible that Sony's like, Concord was a failure, raise the price of the Dualsense? Sure, but probably not. But it's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying to see the constant price increases. It's annoying to see... Okay, hold on, guys. You gotta go, boss. I'm sorry. He just doesn't listen anymore. We'll bring it. Listen, if we hit 25 members, we'll bring him back in. All right. But when it comes to the price increases, it's very annoying. It's very irritating. Nobody wants to see it. But again, like, if the day comes where I have to buy a DualSense and I have to pay $5 more, that's not going to be make or break for me. Doesn't mean I'm like, hey, Sony, please increase the prices. No, please don't. But it is what it is, you know? I can't keep Boss. I want to keep him in here, but if he was sleeping on his cat tower, it'd be fine. But he literally just wants to sit in front of my screen, and I can't see anything anybody's saying. Actually, you're saying it is pretty audacious that Sony is raising the price, knowing that bad things are, how bad things are financially for many people. Yeah, I mean, $70 is already a lot for a controller, no doubt about it. $75 just makes it look worse. But yeah, I would like to know what the reason is. Like, it would be really weird if it was like, we just lost a bunch of money on Concord, so we got to like try to squeeze as much money as we can out of like the DualSense controllers now. That would be pretty strange if that's how they decide to do it, but yeah. But what are you going to do? You know, I mean, Sony has proven that they make some good decisions and they make some bad decisions, just like every other company. They make some very annoying decisions that, are not in the best interest of the consumer, and then they make other decisions that seem like everything's just fine. So, yeah, it's to make up for the Concord DualSenses that nobody bought. I think they're worth like a bunch of money now, though. We have, let me see here, Cypherpunk saying gaming leaks and Reddit's comments are so negative on it. On what? The The Pro? I'm looking at him now. It doesn't seem too bad. I'm not seeing too many negative comments, unless you're talking about something else. Piper. Or not Piper, Cypherpunk. Rich Rod, you're saying the Concord DualSense actually looked dope. So B Flesher is asking, MBG, what do you think the chances are we get the PS5 Pro price tomorrow? We're not going to get the price tomorrow. I would be stunned if we got the price tomorrow. The reason being is, again, like, it's 9 minutes. So it's going to be a technical presentation. You're going to hear Mark Cerny just simply explain to you what the PS5 Pro is going to offer. He's going to explain PlayStation's super spectral resolution. He's going to explain the GPU increase. He's going to explain, the 10% boost in the CPU. He's going to explain the ray tracing increase. And that's it. That's what he's going to do. And he's going to tell you what it's going to do for games. I got you, Rich Rod. That's not the place to announce the price. That's not the place to announce the pre-orders. Everything points to a show happening next week. When the show happens next week, that's when they do it. Here are the games that are running on the PS5 Pro. Here are the PS5 Pro pre-orders. They're opening up, and we will get the price. And I'm thinking it's going to be $600. But yeah, tomorrow I don't think is going to be... I mean, yeah, they could do it that way. They could do a Mark Cerny presentation for 9 minutes tomorrow and then release like a blog post afterwards, basically saying, here's the price and here's when the pre-orders are going to open up. They could do it that way, but it would be a really bad look because that's what the headlines are going to be. The headlines are going to be, once the price drops, PS5 Pro, $600. So because of that, yeah, they're gonna have to show the games. Like, it's just a stupid idea to ask people to pay $600, or to, if you're not asking, just let people know, like, hey, we have this $600 console here. It's just a stupid idea to do that before showing the games. You know what I mean? It's fine to announce the specifications. Like, the way they're going to do it is Mark Cerny is going to tell you what this console will be capable of and what it can do on a technical level. Then after that, they're going to show you a bunch of games actually running on the PS5 Pro at their next state of play or event the next week. And then right after that, that's when they're going to tell you when pre-orders open up and how much it'll be. We also have Waylark saying price hike is a price hike. It's crap, no glazing. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not trying to give, any more money than what's needed for these products. A new DualSense controller is going to come with the Pro. I'm going to check that out in just a moment. So I just want to say, Delwyn Jones, I've been saying your name wrong this whole time. I've been saying like Doolin, so I'm sorry about that. But Delwyn Jones, thank you so much for the generous super chat, my friend. You're saying a new camera angle, new face look, new t-shirt too, which I love, by the way. Thank you so much for that, man. It's very kind of you. I'm really looking forward to watching the tech, a nice short 9-minute presentation, PlayStation 5 Pro and Mark Cerny. It's back. Great to see, man. Stacked month for PlayStation. Yeah, I'm in full agreement, Delwyn. I mean, look, 9 minutes is short, and a lot of people are feeling a little bit concerned about that. I did see that. I don't count that as negativity. I just think people they're a little bit concerned. Like, why is it so short? Like, why is it only 9 minutes? And I think people kind of forgot that if you look back at the original presentation, the road to PS5, that was 1 hour long. And that's a long time for a technical presentation. And there was some negative, there was a bit of negative pushback on it. There was a bit of criticism. And part of that criticism, is some people were saying that was way too long. Like, it was just like way too long. So I think maybe Sony and Mark Cerny took a bit of that criticism and decided, to shorten it, I mean, a PS5 Pro technical breakdown presentation doesn't have to be anywhere near as long as a next generation one. There's no doubt about that. But 9 minutes is way, way, way shorter than an hour, right? So it tells me that, you know, they're trying to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. And so I'm very much excited about it as well, Delwyn. It is really looking like this is going to be a huge month for PlayStation. I suspected that Sony was going to try to do something every week this month, and so far, that's exactly what they're doing. We just got off of Astro Bot releasing, and, you know, first day of the new work week anyway. I mean, technically, at least in the United States, Sunday is the first day of the week, but they come out and they say, hey, we have an announcement to make tomorrow featuring Mark Cerny. Presentation. Check it out. I'm looking forward to it. So, Delwyn, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your enthusiasm, by the way, Delwyn. Keep it up, man. Too much negativity out there these days. Alpha Spooker and Rich Rod, right after I read this, I'm going to read your donation as well. Alpha Spooker says 99% of games run perfect on PS5. No need to upgrade for a few games that struggle. There's ray tracing, but few games utilize it. Hopefully the Pro offers more. Well, that's what I think will make the presentation tomorrow interesting, because obviously Mark Cerny is not going to try to downplay it. He's also not there to try to sell it to you. He's just there to explain, right? And we'll see what he focuses on most. I'm curious to see if he focuses mostly on ray tracing, if he focuses on frame rate, if he focuses on resolution, or if he focuses mostly on the PSSR technology that he's going to announce. I'm really curious to see, because I feel like whatever he focuses on the most is what he's expecting people to gravitate towards the most. Or not people, but developers, I should say. So when it comes to hoping it does more, again, I don't want to sit here and tell anybody that you should be excited. It's up to you, right? Like, if the idea and the prospect of a PS5 Pro gets you excited, then I think you'll have a good time tuning in tomorrow. And I think the next couple weeks are going to be really exciting for you. If you're somebody who's kind of on the edge about a PS5 Pro, or like, I don't know if I'm going to be interested in one, I got to see more, or I got to know exactly what it's going to do, I got to see the games, then yeah, I would pay attention for over the next couple weeks, and you'll probably have a pretty solid answer. We also have a direct donation. Let me bring it up here. Let's see. Rich Rod with the direct donation says, Yeast and all you Xbox butterscotch suckers deserve to lose your consoles. Ugly console for ugly people. MB gangsters, stand the F up. Boss will scratch you up. Damn, Rich Rod even bringing Boss into it now. I agree. I think Boss would probably scratch some people up if he got the chance. But Rich Rod, I see you you listen to my instructions where you continue to throw in the butterscotch there. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I wonder how long Rich Rod's going to keep this up for. One day Rich Rod's just going to disappear, you know? Not in like a creepy way, Rich Rod, but just like he'll be gone for like an extended period of time. Everybody will be like, I wonder what happened to Rich Rod. And like 2 years later, he'll come back with just like a random super chat saying something like that again. We have, let's see here. Let's see. Waleed is now a game cat, specifically a white tiger, says, day one for me, if it improves PlayStation VR 2 games, Gran Turismo 7 and Horizon at native 90 or 120 would be sweet. Also, Astro is now mainstream, smart to port Rescue Mission to VR 2. That would be a good idea, actually. Now that I read Exley's name in the chat and I almost said now that Exley is going to bring Astro Bot Rescue Mission to VR 2, but Sony should do that. I mean, when you consider that Astro Bot and its success basically did make it mainstream, I don't know, man. Sony basically sold through the rest of their PSVR 2 stock. I don't know who exact. I guess they would have to get Team Asobi to port it over, and I don't know how much work that would take, but it might be worth it. You know, the idea of Astro Bot rescue mission coming over to PSVR 2, I think would really just only help out the headset. But if we are getting a state of play in like a week and a half or 2 weeks or something, I am interested to know if Sony's going to actually talk about it. You know, if they're actually going to put some emphasis on it. I mean, I actually wonder about tomorrow, right? Is Mark Cerny going to acknowledge what the PS5 Pro could do for PSVR 2? Yeah, Hanzo, I appreciate you pointing that out. Yeah, I'm keeping my expectations low for tomorrow. I know it sounds crazy where it's like, so wait, you're expecting Sony to reveal, or not reveal, but talk about the PS5 Pro, but not actually reveal any games? And the answer is yes. I'm expecting this to be a purely technical presentation. You know, if Sony, the reason why I say this is because Sony basically needs to disclose if there's going to be game reveals. They need to disclose it. You know, they need to basically let people know in the blog post at the very least that, yeah, there will be like indie game reveals or third party reveals or first party reveals. They kind of have to do that because they're obligated to. I think people kind of forget that these studios and development teams, they kind of rely on these events. You know, they rely on Sony getting people excited to tune in to see their games. So I am thinking it's not going to be a presentation where we see games. And I think that Sony is doing minimal hyping for it because of that. They don't want people to get the wrong idea or the wrong expectations. SGT, you're saying really excited for my PS5 Pro, my first PlayStation since 2005. What PS Plus tier do you recommend? Keep it up. Love the content. Well, thank you so much for that, man. And I noticed it's your first time super chatting, SGT. And that's crazy. Your first PlayStation since 2005. Well, I guess it'll certainly feel like a big leap in this case. What PS Plus tier do I recommend? Well, I mean, if you can afford it, I think I actually would recommend PlayStation Plus Extra simply because if this is, like you're saying, your first PlayStation console since 2005, if you subscribe to Extra, you're gonna have a pretty massive catalog of games to choose from, and I do believe that quite a few PS5 exclusives are on there as well, like games like Demon Souls, and I think Returnal's on there. I think Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, stuff like that. You know, these are games that I would highly recommend trying out on your PS5 and giving them a shot. So again, if you can afford it, I would recommend PlayStation Plus Extra. You could go for premium, but I would only recommend premium if you have any interest whatsoever. And I feel like you'd have to have a pretty strong interest in like classic games, like some PS1 or PS2 titles or PSP games. But premium can be very expensive. So you'd really have to think about that. So hopefully that helps, SGT. And yeah, you'll have to get back to me in the future when you do get your PS5 Pro, what you think of it. And we also have Blake Wilson here saying, hey, MBG, I think the people saying that GTA 6 will get delayed are saying so for easy views, especially since they have no credible source. Yeah, that's what I found so strange about the rumor yesterday. I went to go look at the source and see like who is this coming from? Is it coming from somebody reliable? And I never heard of the person in my life. And when I looked deeper into it, people were saying that like this person doesn't have any credibility. But it really blew up. And there were a lot, like you're saying, I think a lot of people ran with it. And like, I get it. I understand why people do things for clicks and views. It's the name of the game, especially on like YouTube, right? But at the same time, I couldn't bring myself to really talk about it because I'm like, I Like, this just feels like a random person saying that GTA 6 was delayed, and a bunch of people just deciding to be like, yeah, I think it was. Let's believe what this person's saying. When in reality, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is just some literal, like, random person, as far as I'm aware. So, Blake, I'm in agreement, man. I think that we saw it get out of hand yesterday, and we're going to go over that in a little bit, talk about that situation. RichRod908 with a super chat says, state of play rumor on Reddit. Not for you, Colt. Ugly Wanksta. Rich Rod just can't help himself. I'll go check that out. As I'm heading over there to check out what this rumor says, guys, hit that like button for me. We have over 600 people here hanging out, which is awesome to see. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get it up to 200 likes. And let me go check what's going on with this. The PS5 Pro will also launch alongside an improved Dualsense controller, improved battery life, and enhanced triggers. The same guy that correctly leaked the PS5 Pro announcement date and the close approximate runtime of the event on August 31st. This is, let me see here, Brian Potter. I guess this might be a reliable, another insider enters the ring. Heads up, PS5 Pro hardware showcase is live on September 10th. A quick 12 minutes on YouTube and PlayStation blog, but packed with excitement. Oh, they posted this on August 31st. So, okay, this person is now saying that the PS5 Pro will ship with an enhanced DualSense, with better battery life and enhanced triggers. Surely that explains the price increase then, right? Like, that would have to explain, because that's what I'm saying. Like, the price increase was just really random, and Sony didn't say anything about it. And so I'm wondering if it's because they're going to announce that. Like, I don't think this enhanced DualSense is going to be exclusive to the Pro. I think it's probably going to ship with all PS5s. Watch the presentation tomorrow, not actually have anything to do with the Pro. It's just going to be for a new DualSense. Cyberpunk, and I'll see if there's another rumor. I didn't see anything yet about the state of play. Cypherpunk says Pro is to double dip. I don't see this as the same as the PS4 Pro. That console was struggling. This is because Sony didn't get the sales they expected. I disagree, Cypherpunk. The reason why I say this is because we have to understand that the PS5 Pro was already decided on at the beginning of the generation. It's not like a year ago Sony thought, uh-oh, we're not going to sell enough PS5s. Quick, make a Pro. Like, no, that's not how it works. I understand like why some people view it that way. And there's no doubt that, yeah, Sony is expecting people to double dip for sure. A lot of the sales for the PS5 Pro are going to be people double dipping. So that I want to make it clear that when Sony decided 4 years ago that we're going to do a PS5 Pro as well, they did so knowing that people are going to double dip. But I don't think that this has to do with their console sales struggling, because the truth is, if Sony's PS5 sales are going to hit a wall and just like not stop, but really start to slow down dramatically, a Pro is not going to change that. You know what I mean? Like, a Pro is not going to be the thing that just suddenly gives them a surge over the next year or 2 years in sales. It's just, it'll help maybe for the first couple months, maybe the first quarter it releases, but it's not going to be the difference maker. The only thing that could be a difference maker for, and this will be really interesting to see if they do this or not, the only thing that could be the biggest difference maker for sales is if they lower the price of the base model PS5. That's pretty much going to be it. If they don't lower the price of the base model PS5, then I wouldn't expect to see some kind of massive sales surge. But I do understand the mentality and where it comes from, or the logic, I should say. Chris Brown says enhanced Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man 2 will be playing behind Mark Cerny. Maybe they could do that. I mean, Sony doesn't necessarily need to disclose if they're going to show off previously released first-party games. Yeah, now that you mention it, I do wonder if maybe it would make sense to have at least one game. Just one game to kind of show what Mark's talking about. Spider-Man 2 would be the most likely game, I'm thinking. We have Mohammed Saloom saying, "Hi MBG, what is your hype level for the PS5 Pro?" If we're doing like hype level out of 10, I would say probably a 7.5 right now. It would be higher if we had a better idea of like what game announcements we can expect, but 7.5 just because, I mean, it's new PlayStation hardware, man. You know? I know there are a lot of people who don't care at all about the PS5 Pro, but it's not every day we get a new PS5 hardware announcement. Oh, here we go. Okay, I see we have another leak here on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. The guy on Twitter in August leaked a bunch of PS5 Pro information. He was correct about the PS5 Pro date and was close to the approximate runtime. So, says, yeah, tune in September 19th, 2024 for State of Play focusing on indie and third-party games, making the most of the PS5 Pro, but don't expect any news on PlayStation Studio titles just yet. What? This account is temporarily restricted. I can't even click this person's account. PS5 Pro will support HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision on select streaming services and physical media. PS5 Pro Digital arrives on November 14th for $499. What is that? Pounds? I think that's pounds. So what would that be for US dollars? So, well, that can't be right. $650? What? Yo, Sony's about to go crazy. Oh, you know what though? That's for the UK. They're probably going to charge like $50 more in the UK, right? Never do a direct conversion. So $600. $600 in the US, probably $650. Well, I mean, it's not $650. It's 500 pounds in Europe or UK, I mean, and $600 probably. I mean, would $650 be a surprise? Not. It would be a little bit surprising. Yeah, I'll be honest. I would be a little bit surprised because I don't know. I've been of the mindset that like I think it's very doubtful that Sony will go above 600. You go above 600, I think people will still buy it, but you're really limiting, I think, the scope, the audience. So I just want to read this one more time. State of Play on September 19th Quote, tune in September 19th, 2024 for stated play focusing on indie and third-party games making the most of the PS5 Pro. But do not expect any news on PlayStation Studios titles just yet. Ooh, see, to me, that's the mistake. That is the mistake. If that's true, we have to keep in mind, like, this is like an insider apparently I don't know if they're going to delete their account, but I can't even access their account. It's like restricted who can see their account. If that's true, that is in my opinion, near fatal flaw that Sony, or fatal mistake, near fatal, because I don't think it's going to be a good idea to not show your first party games. At least one or two. I don't know. It's a little weird. It's like one of these things where if it happens, if it happens, then we'll see what they are planning. We'll see what they are planning. We have a subtext here, or sorry, Chris Brown says, everyone wants a NASA spec PS5, but not to pay for it. Yeah, I noticed that too. I just think it's mainly because people, I think, have been conditioned to expect a home console to not really go beyond $600. And so if we do see a home console, even if it is offering everything like what the PS5 Pro is going to offer, I think it's going to surprise people where it's like, oh, it's pretty expensive, So yeah, like you're going to have to pay for what it's doing and what it's offering. We have subtext saying if the next state of play is third-party only, then it's another sign that PlayStation Studios got thrown off course this gen. It reminds me that the last showcase focused on Concord, Marathon, and Fair Games. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree. See, I don't know, though. That's kind of the thing, though, right? Like, it also kind of feels like one of these situations where, Sony, they probably, I mean, they just released Astro Bot, They're probably thinking to themselves like, we're going to show Death Stranding 2. Like, at the very least, we're going to see Death Stranding 2. Regardless of what this state of play or whatever it's going to be, regardless of what they end up showing, they're going to show Death Stranding 2. So I guess I wouldn't be totally shocked at this point if Sony basically closes out the year by being like, yeah, we just released Astro, critically acclaimed, it's probably going to sell pretty decently. We're going to show you Death Stranding 2 and hype that up. We're going to show you a bunch of third-party games running on the Pro. And we're going to be releasing games like Until Dawn and Lego Horizon as well before the year ends. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I know people don't want to hear this. And I'm not saying I'm okay with it. I'm just trying to be practical and realistic in the way Sony operates. The reality is Sony probably feels like they don't have to show first party games yet. Like it's not that they couldn't. I want it to be understood that Sony could announce first party games at any moment. Like there's nothing stopping them from doing that except themselves. It's not like they can't announce Ghost of Tsushima 2. They can. They could announce it tomorrow if they wanted to. They're choosing not to. And there's a specific reason for that. And I think that reason is fairly obvious in that they're just like, we don't have to. Like, what's the competition doing? The competition just announced one of their major first-party games is coming to our console. So the pressure's not there, man. And actually get some Trismegistus. Get some! Get some! He comes in and he starts off the member train today by dropping a 5 bomb on you guys. 5 memberships doled out by the legend. Actually, get some Trismegistus. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to add that to the counter. Always appreciate you supporting the community. Actually, let me And again, like I'm not trying to like be a doomer or a downer right now by saying this. I'm just trying to be realistic with you guys and let you know that right now Sony, like, their holiday season is set. Like, Sony is going to make their money this holiday off of third-party game sales, off of what Astro Bot, off of Until Dawn and Lego Horizon. They're going to make their money off the PS5 Pro. There's basically what I'm saying is like the holiday season is going to be strong for Sony, and they don't need to come out and be like, all right, we need to show like 3 first-party games in order for this holiday season to go well. They don't need to. But what I will say is this, and this is the most important thing I can emphasize right now. What Sony will need to do is going into 2025, like after December, right? Going into January, like, all right, Sony, you had Astro Bot, you had the PS5 Pro, you had a State of Play, you had a bunch of third-party games, strong third-party support. Maybe they show up at the Game Awards. They could show up big at the Game Awards if they wanted to. But at that point, it's like, all right, Sony, like, there's nothing now. It's a barren wasteland, from what it seems. I'm just kidding. It's not a barren wasteland, but Sony does not have a proper roadmap established for 2025. So, it's one of these things where at some point they're going to have to let people know, like, here's the games we have coming in 2025. It will be necessary. They can't go into 2025 not having some kind of established roadmap. I think it's safe to say they're not getting rid of a showcase then. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If they do announce a third-party State of Play for the Pro, then yes, showcase is still around, because it's one of those things where if you're not giving us a showcase in September, but you're giving us a State of Play, but then you let us know that State of Play is going to be focused on third-party games enhanced for the PS5 Pro, which makes sense. Yeah, then at that point, showcase, I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but showcase will still be around. I wonder if Sony could, listen, I want to put this out here, and I know some people might see it as reaching, but I just want you to think about it for a moment. PlayStation's 30th anniversary is in December. I mean, what are the chances Sony is holding off for a big show in December to celebrate their 30th anniversary? December 3rd. December 3rd is the 30th anniversary of the entire PlayStation brand. So, saying sounds like copium. It very well could be. It's just worth thinking about. You know what I mean? That's true. Sony did hold PlayStation Experience every December. So it's worth noting that Sony is willing to do showcases in December. They used to do PlayStation Experience once a year in December. So the idea of them basically saying, like, maybe we'll just save it for early December, just like we used to do PlayStation Experience. I mean, it's close enough to 2025 at that point where it's like, yeah, you can lay out a roadmap in December if you want. I don't know. It would be just kind of shocking to me if Sony really went the rest of this year without something big for the 30th anniversary. That would be shocking to me, because it's like, are you guys kidding me? Like, really? They could have their own show in the beginning of December and then also make an appearance at the Game Awards. They could do it. I'm not saying I'm assuming they will. I'm just saying it's a possibility. That's all. Yeah, I saw that as well. MBG Ignis said on his Discord that there will be new first, second, and third party reveals, with the second party having a release date. So, yeah, that's another thing. A different insider who goes by Ignis, Lunatic Ignis, I think is his name that he goes by. He was correct. He said that the PS5 Pro was going to be revealed. he said it last week. He said next week the PS5 Pro is going to be revealed on either Tuesday or Wednesday. But he followed it up by saying there's going to be a pretty big state of play with some first-party reveals. So, I mean, you know, he was proven correct with one of the things he said in that, oh, he was right. He called it. It's going to be announced on Tuesday. So, I guess, I don't know, man. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Actually says, of course, modern PlayStation will do the bare minimum for the 30th anniversary. This is the perfect time for a showcase, but they'll probably just flip us off. Damn, actually. I can feel the positivity and excitement flowing through you. Elias, you're saying you're in his Discord. He's legit. Yeah. I'm not going to hold my breath. You know, I'm just going to be excited for tomorrow. I'm going to listen to what Mark Cerny has to tell us. And I'm excited for the Pro. Certainly excited for the Pro. And when it comes to what's beyond that, like, I am expecting some type of show. I am expecting a state of play. But are you wrong, actually? No, I wouldn't say you're wrong. It's just, that's one of those things where it's like, I have to see it to believe it, you know? Like, I refuse to believe that Sony is just going to do some blog post and that's it for the 30th anniversary, you know? I'm not saying I would be shocked if they didn't do, like, if they didn't do a showcase or something, I wouldn't be shocked about that, but they gotta make a bigger deal out of it, you know? And Hellbound 1981, another legend comes in and drops a second 5-bomb on you guys. That's 10 members gifted, courtesy of the legends, Exley and Hellbound, tag teaming it here today. Hellbound, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
And Hellbound, I promise, if we get close to the goal of 25, or seems like we're going to hit that, I will bring Boss back in here, and we'll feed the beast. Boss is finicky sometimes. Sometimes he'll just sleep peacefully on his cat tower while I'm streaming and talking to you guys. Other times he's just like in my face trying to knock everything over, you know? It's a mixed bag with him these days. Let me update this. Appreciate all the support, guys. It means a lot. So let's see if we can keep this member train going, guys. We got Exley and Hellbound each dropping 5 bombs. They're kicking you guys off. Or they're not kicking you guys off. That sounds like aggressive. They're kicking it off for you guys. There we go. And we have subtext with the super chat saying, isn't it sad that Sony has conditioned us to not get hyped? I hope the sales slowdown from recent financial reports continues so they wake the hell up. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that subtext, but I'm going to be curious to see how the remainder of this month plays out, because I feel like Astro Bot and the release of it and it getting like such rave reviews, I feel like that was the first time we had like that real genuine hype excitement in quite some time. So it's still there. And actually get some Trismegistus. He's getting some more.
Get some! Get some!
Wait, hold on. I gotta. Oh, well, that was the wrong one. My bad. There's Boss saying thanks.
Say hello to
There we go.
democracy!
Exley dropping a second 5-bomb on you guys. Exley brings us up to 15 members on the day. So just like that, you're set up now. You're set up. A 10-bomb gets us to 25. A 10-bomb feeds the beast. And the beast has entered the domain. I'm scared. Dude, I love how he just comes in here and looks at me like... It's like he heard the soundbite go off or something, dude. So actually, thank you so much for that, buddy. We are 2 5-bombs. Or sorry. We are... Yeah, no, sorry. We are 2... I'm getting myself confused here. We're 2 5-bombs or a 10-bomb away from hitting the goal. I can't math today for some reason. Good stuff, man. And to anybody who gets gifted a membership, be sure to go check out the member tab. You have access to a lot, and I mean a lot, of member exclusive content. Go check that out. But yeah, subtext to finish answering your super chat here. It does suck that we have to kind of be a little bit worried about how hyped we should get ourselves for stuff. But I think maybe it's just necessary at this point where, not everything that Sony does is going to be next level hype, 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, there are going to be times where it's a little bit more subdued or a lot more subdued. And when it comes to something like the PS5 Pro, I do think excitement and a certain level of hype is absolutely justified and perfectly fine. I think everybody who's interested should be excited. But I do think that we have to just kind of keep our expectations at a certain level where it's like, we don't want to, full sprint and assume that it's just going to be like, okay, PS5 Pro, then a showcase revealing all the first-party games we want to see. And then after that, it's going to be this and that and everything else. And they're going to have a 30th anniversary event. Like, I'll speculate this stuff, but it's like if Sony ends up doing a third-party state of play to show off third-party enhanced PS5 Pro games, I'm going to be interested in that and somewhat excited for it. It's not going to be everything I had hoped for, but I will still be excited for it, And so that's why I'm trying not to leap before I look, you know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. It would be great for Sony to just kind of like ramp up the excitement so everybody can get, everybody can get 10 out of 10 hype beast mode, We also have Pipey here saying, bro, this, you said M, but this needs to stop. The Microsoft games that are coming to PlayStation is $70. And yes, they do need to show us something. What Microsoft is doing is not Sony's business. I feel like I kind of understand what you're saying here, Piper. I mean, it is though, Piper. Like, it is Sony's business that, our competitors releasing one of their first-party games on our console. That's absolutely Sony's business. I'm not saying that means they shouldn't do anything, but I don't know, man. What I'm trying to say is it buys their studios time, is what it does. You get what I'm saying? It buys their studios time, where it's like Sony could turn to Sucker Punch and say, we need that Ghost reveal now. Like, we need it. You guys got to be ready to show. Or they could ask them, hey, we don't need your game reveal now, but are you ready to show it? Do you want to show it? And they're like, no, we need a little bit more time. We're still cooking. Sony can be like, okay, all right, yeah, we'll check back in next quarter and see if we, what's going on then. They could, that's why I'm saying this is the position Sony's in. They are allowed to operate at their own pace. And what Microsoft is doing by bringing some of their first-party games over is making that possible. It's not like the Xbox is on the verge of catching up to PS5 sales or, overtaking them or anything like that. So there's not this immediate pressure for Sony, you got to do something right now. They're going to release a PS5 Pro. They just released Astro Bot. I don't know, man. Look, I'm not trying to enter Sony Defense Force mode or some shit here, but I do think it's just what more do people want? In this moment, realistically, we are entering the holiday season with a shit ton of third-party games. Sony just released a first-party banger. I mean, people could talk all the shit they want on Astro Bot, dude. It's a great game. And it comes directly from Sony Studios. And they got more coming to close out the year. and they got a PS5 Pro. It's like, what do people want, man? Like, if you tell me I want a pipeline, or like I want to see a roadmap, I want that too. But I don't know, man. Like, if there's shit in front of me right now, like literally right now, where it's like, here's a Pro, here's Astro Bot, here's Silent Hill 2 Remake. Here, you know, go play Space Marine 2. Go play the new Call of Duty or whatever, right? Like, and I'm basically drowning in games. Then it's like, okay, I can wait a little bit longer. It's fine. It's just crazy to me. That's all. Like, I want the same thing that I think most other PlayStation fans want, which is I do want a roadmap. I do want to see more first-party games. Yeah, but it's just really hard to feel annoyed when we're seeing all this shit happen in front of us. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like a middle of the road type thing. Let's go up here, bud. And again, we might see first party games. Well, you know what? Shit, we're going to see Death Stranding too. So that makes me happy. I don't know. I feel like these days it's either like, how do you feel? Do you feel really annoyed and upset with Sony, or do you feel really happy with them? It's like, maybe it's kind of in the middle. Like, there's certain things they do that I'm like, that's pretty weak, pretty underwhelming. Not necessarily what I was hoping for. But on the other hand, I feel like Concord and Astro Bot is a perfect example of like, here's PlayStation in 2024. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the perfect example of somehow PlayStation in 2024 releases both the best, like the literal, like best and worst game. It's like so insane. That's PlayStation 2024, dude. And that's why I'm saying I feel like that basically, it reveals just kind of like where they are right now, where one day they're doing the worst thing that is annoying everybody, and the next day they're doing one of the best things that's making everybody excited. And so it has truly become almost impossible to predict what's next. But all I know is when I go into anything Sony does now, I do try to keep my expectations a little bit lower, just because, you know, I went into the showcase last year and I saw how that turned out. You know, I actually did have some kind of hope for Concord, and then we saw the first trailer and I'm like, oh. And then, you know, I was always excited for Astro Bot, but see, you know what's interesting is Helldivers 2 and Astro Bot are two games that I did have a relatively higher expectation for. Where like I was, and I don't know if you guys remember this, I know some of you can attest to this, I was more excited for Helldivers 2 before it launched than most people were. I remember like always talking to you guys about how like I'm hyped for this game, man. Like it looks really good. And hardly anybody was talking about it. And when I saw that, like, holy shit, it blew up and everybody loves it, it's like one of the biggest games of the year or like ever, I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like, I love to see it, right? Same exact thing happened with Astro Bot, man, where like ever since Astro Bot got announced in May, I was like, this looks amazing. I can't wait for this. Like, this looks like it's going to be a great time, really fun, really solid game. And then it comes out and it's like, holy shit, it's gaining way more attention and praise than I thought. So it's like, I just don't think people are keeping this stuff in mind when they're talking about what Sony should do. Like, if you were running Sony right now, yeah, you have to deal with Concord, but you also have Helldivers 2. You also have Astro Bot, and that's not even counting things like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Rise of the Ronin, you know, Silent Hill 2 Remake, another game that's probably going to do really great on PS5. I just feel like realistically, people need to kind of understand that Sony is in a good position. Whether you think they are or not, they, like, objectively speaking, they are in a good position where they've been delivering a steady stream of content. They're still doing so. They're flowing into the PS5 Pro, And it's just been kind of smooth, mostly smooth sailing. Again, except for I feel like Concord's like the big, bump in the road that almost overturned the entire vehicle. But I'm not saying that people should just basically say, hey, Sony is the best then, and we shouldn't ask them for anything. No, I'm not telling you to do that. But all I am telling you is that it's okay to feel okay about what PlayStation's doing. Like, it's okay to be excited for Silent Hill 2 and playing it on PS5. It's okay to be excited for the PS5 Pro. It's okay to, be happy about playing Astro Bot and thinking that might be one of your highlights of the year. It's okay. Like, that's all I'm trying to tell people is it doesn't have to be, negativity and doom and gloom and everything shit all the time. It really doesn't have to be that way. Because, honestly, it's just not that way all the time. But, I guess everybody's going to make up their own mind. We have, let's see here. Easy E says, how will they sell this thing without showing games? Well, that's the thing, right? I think people need to also remember that this console isn't releasing this month. The console is releasing in November. So Sony has like a couple months to show you games and try to tell you, like, here's why you're going to want to buy a Pro, or at least think about it. If Sony wants to show a Pro and not show any games, like at all, they're going to have a hard time. And I have a direct donation from Moonshot, back-to-back donation. Thank you, Moonshot. He says, a couple of weeks ago, I predicted that we would get at least a 20-minute Sony PS5 Pro YouTube video, but 9 minutes? Why not just upload it right now? I hope Sony can thoroughly explain what it offers and why it's worth the upgrade in those 9 minutes. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. Bring hype, Sony. Yeah, I'm assuming the reason why they wanted to announce that they're going to have this 9-minute live stream is because they do want a lot of people to see it. And I think the fear is that if they just shadow drop this Mark Cerny presentation, the fear is that it might go under the radar and a lot of people are not going to know about it. But because they are bringing attention to it and they do want people to tune into the live stream, it does tell me that Mark is going to have something to say to get people excited, right? Like, I'm not saying he's going to announce a new game or anything, but there has to be some level of confidence that, yeah, people are going to be excited about hearing about what this console can do for their games. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to end that presentation with the announcement of a state of play, or at least teasing that, like, and next week we're going to have more to say about games, right? Just to let people know. The only thing I am worried about, I'm worried that Sony, they could be dense enough to have people tune into this live stream tomorrow for 9 minutes and not show any games. And then basically what happens after that is, like, they don't tell people that they're going to have a state of play next week or something. And people are going to be like, Sony, where the PS5 Pro games? Like, you just announced the Pro, where the game's at. That would be awkward because I feel like me and you, like all of us here, we would know, like, it's because they're going to show a state of play next week. But I think more generally speaking, like to the general populace tuning in, they're going to be like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, what? I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see how they handle those 9 minutes. Because we also need to keep in mind that Sony may make another announcement tomorrow. Like, they don't just have to show that stream. They could show that stream and then have something else they put out in like a blog post or whatever afterwards with more details. Kane Z7 says, what if tomorrow, Cerny, after telling us about the Pro, he says, tune in next week for a 2-hour showcase showing the enhanced games? I could tell Kane Z7, he's huffing that hopium, bro. Kane, be careful, man. I don't want you to take in too much hopium. 2-hour showcase, goddamn. Did you see this in a dream, Kane? MBG, read the PlayStation blog again, specifically about the licensing part. Let me see. Please note that this broadcast may include copyrighted content, like licensed music that PlayStation does not control. We welcome and celebrate our amazing co-streamers and creators, but licensing agreements outside of our control could interfere with co-streams or video-on-demand archives in this broadcast. So, if you're planning to save this broadcast as a video-on-demand to create recap videos or to repost clips or segments from the show, we advise omitting any copyrighted music. Yeah, that's... I guess, yeah, that kind of makes you wonder if they are going to have something to show. I don't know. They're just going to show the... Yeah, they're just going to... It's actually going to be... It's actually just going to be 7 minutes of Mark Cerny talking about the Pro, and then the last 2 minutes are going to be for GTA 6 trailer number 2. What will Sony do after Cerny retires? Oh, I don't know. Good luck. Digital Dude 25 with the super chat says, any chance some mad Xbot will take out Mark Cerny while he's on stage? Oh my God. I would hope not. Well, that's the thing. If it makes you feel any better, Digital Dude, because I know you're very concerned. You're very concerned about the safety of Mark Cerny. It's going to be pre-recorded. Like, it's going to be live streamed for us, but it's going to be a pre-recorded video. So it's not like it's in front of a live audience. So I don't know if that brings you any peace of mind, Digital Dude, but I don't think you'll have to worry. Protect Cerny at all costs. They're going to clone Cerny. Yeah, they're going to have to do that. AI crowd again. It is going to be like an AI crowd, dude. Let me go see what people are saying on Twitter about this. I'm curious to see what the conversation looks like. PlayStation just announced 2 minutes ago, Destiny turns 10. Celebrate the milestone with Insomniac Games, Santa Monica, Guerrilla, and other PlayStation studios. So they posted a blog post. Destiny's 10th anniversary, PlayStation Studios developers reflect on their time as Guardians. Weak. That's what's funny, though. I love how Sony just like pretends there isn't disaster behind the scenes with Bungie. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna celebrate an underwhelming 10-year anniversary. Yeah, kind of. Let me see what else I may have missed here. Sorry for the dead air. Bungie has announced that going forward, Destiny 2 will adopt a new release model with 2 medium-sized expansions a year. I thought they were done with Destiny 2. Am I missing something? I thought Bungie released their final DLC for Destiny 2 with the final shape. I don't quite understand. I love how Jeff Keighley posts on Twitter, what are you hoping to hear from Mark Cerny tomorrow during his PlayStation technical presentation? Like, I think everybody's expecting the same thing, right? Like, it would be kind of awkward if it was something other than the PS5 Pro. All right. Well, there seems to be a fair bit of excitement for this presentation tomorrow. And I did see somebody in the chat a little bit earlier. They were asking if I'm going to be streaming earlier tomorrow so that way I can like stream the 9-minute presentation. Yeah, I'm probably going to be going live at around like 10:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow because the presentation happens at 11. So we'll like kind of hang out for about 25 minutes or so and then, you know, let people kind of file in and then we'll watch it together and we'll talk about it. What if it's not called PS5 Pro? That would be even stranger and very confusing. I mean, I guess anything's possible, but people are going to be hyping up for crazy game announcements and they're all going to be disappointed with the presentation. That's why I wanted to put my video out as soon as I possibly could. I did release like a 3-minute video. Got like a cat hair on my tongue. I did release like a 3-minute video. Right before I went live. And one of the things that I stressed in that video is do not expect new game announcements. Do not expect that. I even was like saying I wouldn't even be surprised if there are no games shown here. Again, I'm not trying to be a buzzkill. It's just, you're going to get people going in tomorrow treating it like it is a showcase or something. And that's going to be annoying to deal with because people are going to act like, well, that was garbage. That was trash. And it's like, it was exactly what they told you it was going to be, a 9-minute technical presentation. I think they'll call it PlayStation Edge to match the DualSense Edge. Something about that just sounds cursed. PlayStation Edge. I don't know about that one. No, it's going to be called the PS5 Pro. All they have to do is show off Bloodborne 60 FPS update. Yeah, I'm not expecting that, but could you imagine? Could you imagine Mark Cerny is just casually talking about the PS5 Pro and how it will enhance games, and in the background they just show Bloodborne running at 60 FPS? That'd be so funny. Oh my god. There you go. Garrett Green, PlayStation edging. There we go. Imagine if it's called PS5 4K 60. I mean, that would be pretty straightforward, wouldn't it? PS5 4K 60, baby. I'm with Jay Shako here. This is a bra moment. With AI frame generation, it could be possible. That's what I'm thinking, Irfan. You're saying they'll likely show Spider-Man 2 off with ray tracing. I think Spider-Man 2 is the most likely game to show up. Because, I mean, it's Spider-Man. And anytime you can show Spider-Man off with your new hardware, I think Sony just sees that as a win. With the power of the PlayStation, or with the power of the Pro, we can see Bloodborne running at 60 FPS. I'm telling you, man, Sony is not going to even mention Bloodborne until the PlayStation 6. Garrett, I agree with you on this one. Yeah. I see somebody saying in the chat it's going to be called the PlayStation 5 Neo because someone at Sony is obviously obsessed with the Matrix movies. Actually, I think the code name for the PS5 Pro is Trinity. Yeah. So PS4 Pro is Neo. I think PSVR 2 is Morpheus or something. And now PS5 Pro is Trinity. I'm going to dude, I'm going to laugh when the code name for the PlayStation 6 is Smith, as in Agent Smith. Either that or they'll go in another direction where it'll be codename Wick for John Wick. You think they could show Black Myth Wukong? Oh, that's actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Black Myth Wukong is huge. Almost 18, I think over 18 million copies sold already, which is unbelievable. That would actually be a great game to show off if they were able to get it PS5 Pro enhanced already. But I mean, either way, man, I'm just excited to hear Sony talk. You know, it's been too long. Either Wukong or Spider-Man. Well, I do want to go over another piece of information for you here. This was originally what I was going to talk about, but obviously I had to change my title, and it is still about the PS5 Pro. But literally right as I released my stream, of course, Sony made an announcement. So we have the individual on Twitter known as Titix, and he said the PS5 Pro should be revealed really soon. Now, to be clear, he apparently got in contact with some developers, like privately, and he says PS5 Pro should be revealed really soon. This was posted, I think, yesterday. I'm hearing some fantastic gains on some games. One is a popular open world game that will get frame rate, resolution, and a big bump in ray tracing. Another one is a game that just got released that really needs it. Can't wait to see PlayStation show them off. So he's basically out here teasing 2 games, apparently, that we are going to hear about. I don't know. He's not saying we're going to hear about them tomorrow, but he's saying that these are 2 games that are going to get enhanced. So one is a popular open world game that will get a frame rate, resolution, and big bump in ray tracing. So frame rate, res, and ray tracing. Open world, popular open world. What are we thinking here? Red Dead 2. I don't think it's going to be Red Dead 2. God of War. No, God of War is an open world. Spider-Man. I'm maybe Spider-Man. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk would be interesting. Elden Ring. I feel like it's Spider-Man 2. I'll be honest. It's going to be Starfield. I think the other game has to be Black Myth Wukong, right? Because he says another one is a game that just got released that really needs it. Could it be Black Myth Wukong? Elden Ring needs it. Elden Ring could be pretty big. I think that's a game that people would like to see enhanced. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'll be honest, man. Look, I know a lot of people think that we're going to hear about Final Fantasy, but I don't think so, dude. I think the partnership between Sony and Square went really bad, dude. Like, I think they really, like, something just went really wrong. Square Enix is weird with Sony these days. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, something just... That's what I mean. Square Enix rejecting being in Astro Bot? That doesn't make any sense to me. Do I think that they'll release PSSR on the base PS5? I don't think so. It's a good question, but I'm thinking probably not. And we have Josh here with 2 back-to-back super chats. He says, it's definitely not going to be as hype as people think. It's going to be super technical, presented by the Mark. Yeah, again, man, I think if people want to know what this presentation tomorrow is going to be like, go watch the Road to PS5 presentation from 2020. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Watch a couple minutes of it, though. Watch like 5 or 10 minutes of it, and that's what we're going to get tomorrow. I mean, I just want to remind people that, like, not a single game was shown off during this presentation from 2020. So I'm just putting it out there that, like, you know, yeah, we're just hyped for Cerny, man. Treble Champ, you're saying, I think they will have PSSR on the for base PS5 users. It would be cool if they did. That'd be, I think, a nice surprise that a lot of people would be very happy about. I mean, it would. I guess it would make sense, right? If it would be available on the base PS5, because it's like a PlayStation developed technology. It's developed in house. MBG is Boss Cat breathing okay. He hasn't moved in a while. Oh yeah, he's fine, man. He's just looking at me. He's got like this kind of angry look in his eyes. He's like, how come I still haven't got my treats? Boss, I tried telling him, man, we're 10 members away. We hit the 10 members. We get 10 more members. We'll feed the beast. We'll give Boss what he's been waiting for. MBG, this is extremely important. Please reply ASAP. That new alleged insider who you quoted to say there won't be first party at the State of Play this month, what day specifically did he say that the State of Play was? I need to check it against my source. I'm pretty sure he said it was the 19th, which would be Thursday, next Thursday. That's the date he gave. Williams on the case. Yeah, guys, hit that like button for me. I appreciate all the support. We are sitting at 297 likes, so we're just about to hit 300. Let's see if we can push for 325. And we have Devilac47, a member for 16 months, says, do you think Sony saw Concord and Fair Games' failure and asked Jim to step down, especially now that we know the Bungie deal is so bad? I do think Jim was asked to step down, yeah. I think it wasn't just Concord and Fair Games. I think it was because maybe there was some frustration amongst certain PlayStation studios. I think it was also because I think the higher ups at Sony, they started to realize that Jim was spending a lot of money, and a lot of the deals that he made, a lot of the money that was spent, seemingly, yeah, they were like bad deals. They weren't really going anywhere, or they weren't turning out the way that they had thought. William says, then I will pay you what I owe you when the day comes of the showcase. The showcase will be in December for the 30th anniversary celebration event. On my Twitter, I will accept my massive L on the day and will not delete it. Well, it's very honorable of you, William. Very honorable. But, you know, man, I think it will be okay ultimately. Saying the day is correct. Okay. Well, I mean, keep in mind, William, another source, like, we have conflicting information from 2 different sources. That guy said, I don't even know his name, but something Potter, whatever, Brian Potter. I think their account's like even locked now. He says that the State of Play on the 19th is going to be third party focused, with no first party. But then Lunatic Ignis, who also correctly told us when the PS5 Pro reveal was going to be, he says that it's going to be a big State of Play, and there are going to be maybe some first party reveals. He didn't say maybe, he said that there would be some first party reveals. So it's one of these things where it's like it's up in the air, you know? It's up in the air. So we will see, William. We're going to find out together. No, it's not Harry Potter. Brian Potter, apparently, is his name. Let me... get rid of that. Sorry, I have like way too many tabs open right now. I'm trying to clear some of them. I'm just checking to see if there are any other... So somebody else reported on this state of play leak. Thought they would show off their own games on the Pro first. I will say, I'm looking over some of the replies here on the Reddit thread, and there's a lot of negativity over the idea of Sony doing a third-party state of play. There's a lot of negativity. Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be a big difference maker in the end. William, you're saying, I know there is a massive event in December. This was newly planned, but the date for the September event is 100% correct. The 19th or 20th. Yeah, bigger event in December would be very welcome. What about size, MBG? Do you think the PS5 Pro is going to be bigger than the original PS5? Or something between the Slim and the OG? I'm thinking it's going to be... I think it's actually going to be a little bit bigger than the base PS5. Like, I could see it being a little bit shorter than the original PS5, but I think it's going to be wider. I think it's going to be like a thicker console. MBG, it's obvious that PlayStation regrets the Pro. It was greenlit years ago by a regime that no longer exists and doesn't line up with the new Totoki business model. Too late to cancel, but there will be no big push. I mean, it's interesting because, okay, I believe you've talked about the idea of Sony basically already prepping for the PlayStation 6 and basically just kind of accepting that the PS5 gen is not over, but like there's minimal competition for the remainder of the generation. So they're just going to kind of do what they have to, like bare minimum in a way, or what was already planned, and just see it through. And everything they're doing right now. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I mean, on one hand, it's like if they don't show off the PS5 Pro like in the coming weeks utilizing first-party games, that to me is kind of a red flag, because it's like that doesn't make sense. But I don't know. Again, we're gonna see Death Stranding 2. So I don't know. It tells me that Sony might just kind of rely on that game to be like the big first-party game we're showing you. Maybe that and like a Spider-Man 2 enhancement. Like, what just doesn't make any sense to me at all when it comes to the idea of we're going to get a state of play focused on third-party enhanced games. Like, what doesn't make sense to me is first-party studios have had the PS5 Pro for the longest amount of time. Like, surely at least one or two studios PS5 Pro enhanced their game. Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me. But then again, hold on. Then again, maybe Sony is like, listen, we're not going to tell people to expect first-party games, because if we say that, they're going to expect new first-party games. You get what I'm saying? So it's a situation where it's like, we're just not going to mention it. Like, at this state of play, what I'm trying to say is we could see Spider-Man 2 at this state of play. We could see Horizon. We could see any previously released PlayStation Studios title get announced as PS5 Pro Enhanced, but Sony will not count that as new first-party games. So they won't mention it in the blog post. Just a thought, because like that, at the very least, we got to see that, right? Like, there's no way none of these games are going to get enhanced. It'll be a sizzle reel, if anything, of Pro enhancements. Yeah, they probably will have a sizzle reel tomorrow, actually. Well, I don't say probably, but they could. They definitely could. I see we have OK coming in, dropping a membership gift for you guys. OK, thank you so much for that, man. Yeah, just a reminder, if you want to help contribute to the member gift goal here, you can always drop a single like OK has done here.
Thank you.
What's up, bro? That brings us up to 16. So, guys, 9 away from hitting the goal. Let me update this one more time. And I see Jerry A dropped a super chat here. Let me check that out in just a second. Jerry A says, according to reliable leakers, Sony went back and forth on the Pro and at one point had ceased development on it. I do know what you're talking about, Jerry A. The leakers you're referring to, I think, are maybe like Red Gaming Tech and possibly Moore's Law is Dead. Don't quote me on that. Is that who you're talking about, Jerry? And we have Illegal Monkey coming in, dropping another 5-bomb on you guys. Illegal Monkey saying we are keeping the member train going here. And he brings us up to 21 members on the day. We are just 4 away. And Hellbound 1981. Hellbound comes in and drops another 5-bomb. We do it. We get over the line. We get over 25 members. We are now sitting at 26. Illegal Monkey, Hellbound 1981, and OK. They triple teamed it, man. And they destroyed it. They crushed the goal. So, guys, thank you so much.
It's dangerous to rely on teraflops as
new Cerny soundbite?
Performance.
Are we going to get a new Cerny soundbite tomorrow? I think we might. It's time to feed the beast. Hellbound, I promised. He's like totally knocked out. Let's see if he reacts to this.
Bones, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
Bro, I can't believe he didn't react to that at all. Bro is knocked out. Let's see. He's like, oh, I'm awake now. Here you go, bro. I know you've been waiting. He's been waiting. It's all you, man. I cleaned out his cat tree, by the way, today. Vacuumed it up. A lot of like hidden snacks and treats that he never ate. Whoa, 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 whoa. You good? You good, bro? He's like really having trouble repositioning himself. You're getting too big for this cat tree, man. I got to get a new one. So thank you guys so much for the membership gifts. Hitting the goal. We are now at 26. So if you guys as a community want to keep pushing, we will now push and we'll see if we can get to it. We'll push for 50 members. And if we hit that, we'll do some reps at the end of the stream. And I do want to let you guys know the last piece of members content is about an hour and 45 minute, almost 2 hour stream of me playing Astro Bot. So if you just received the membership gift, go check that out. But Jerry A, yeah, with that super chat you left, I'm trying to see if you... I remember hearing about that, basically. I remember hearing from certain... Yeah, I think it was Red Gaming Tech, where he was saying that the people who were giving him information about the PS5 Pro, they were saying that like Sony was kind of debating it internally and trying to decide. And I do wonder, like, that sounds very believable. There's nothing about that sounds crazy. I do imagine that this is one of those things where they do have to kind of really weigh the pros and the cons. And I guess I just wonder, like, what pushed them over the edge and made them say, like, yeah, let's do it. Maybe it was down to the developers. Maybe they asked their own first party studios, like, do you guys want a Pro? Like, would you like that? And maybe they were like, yeah, that'd be great. I don't know. It's just a thought. Guess boss is going to save the rest of his snacks for later. I noticed he's been doing that lately. He's been kind of like, what are you doing? Oh, you know what? It's because there she is. Luna's over there hiding. Luna, come on. Let me go get Luna. I think I gave her too much. Yo, is she really gonna eat him like that? Look at this. Look at this cat. Look at how long she is. She's such a long cat. Longest cat I've ever seen, I think. Sorry, just got very distracted by something there. MBG, my bet for the new Cerny quote is, quote, it's dangerous to only accept native 4K 60 as true 4K 60 when AI can make 4K 60 just as good if it was rendered natively on the PS5 Pro. I love the idea of that quote containing Mark Cerny saying 4K 60, not twice, but 3 times. Okay, you're saying MBG, the Pro was greenlit when PlayStation sales expectations and timelines were very different and they're now under new leaders, delayed games, and altered timelines, brushing up against the PlayStation 6. I don't know, man. It's from like from a high-level business viewpoint, I feel like you might be right. I mean, there's no denying that the PS5 Pro was greenlit under previous management, right, and leadership. And what's interesting is Tom Henderson, the person who was basically responsible for leaking all of Sony's hardware. He leaked the earbuds, he leaked the Dualsense Edge, he leaked the Pro, he leaked he probably was even talking about PSVR 2 at some point, but he leaked all this stuff. He leaked the PlayStation Portal. One of his last tweets was, he said, and this was, I think, like a couple weeks ago, he's like, this concludes my reporting on the PlayStation 5 hardware. Like, basically concluding, like, the PS5 Pro concludes everything, where we're not really going to get any more hardware. Like, we're not going to get any more accessories, maybe except for like limited edition stuff and stuff like that, but like nothing really new. Like, everything's kind of set now. And that's what is interesting to think, is it does seem like the Pro kind of really does mark the end of the Jim Ryan era in terms of, hardware and everything that will be available hardware-wise and accessory-wise for the PS5 gen. Game-wise, that's the only thing that I'm confused about right now. It's just, assuming that Sony wants to have one tentpole title a year to close out the PS5, We have Death Stranding 2 and we have Wolverine. That takes up 2 years. Death Stranding 2, 2025. Wolverine, 2026. We're not counting like second-party games or deals or anything like that. So, you know, the PlayStation 6 could come at the absolute earliest, 2027. So, are we thinking like Ghost 2? I don't know. It does feel like, yeah, maybe they could announce The Last of Us Part 3 for PlayStation 6 potentially. Although I don't know, I would hope the next thing we would see would be like a new IP, and then maybe The Last of Us Part 3. Where are you getting this one tentpole game a year? Herman said one per holiday season in their latest meeting. You know what? My bad. Yeah. Thank you for the correction, Eric. I think I'm confusing. Yeah, I'm mixing up the wording here. You're right. One every holiday season. Okay. So yeah, I guess that does change things quite a bit. I wonder if maybe this is what's taking them so long. Maybe they're really trying to figure out what games should we kind of target PlayStation 6 with versus which games should we utilize and leverage for the remainder of the PlayStation 5 gen. What about this year? Well, Astro Bot, Sony doesn't count Astro Bot, I think, as like a... They didn't say it wasn't a tentpole game, but they said they don't count it as like a major entry in an existing franchise. So, I don't know. At this point, maybe they would count it as a tentpole just because of how much notoriety it's gained and earned. OK says, essentially, I'm suggesting that the support for the Pro will be much less than people expect. I hope that's not the case. That would be disappointing. I'm not expecting it to be through the roof, but I would expect it to be strong enough to at least justify a purchase, you know? Astro Bot should do really well for the holidays. I'm thinking it will, yeah. Didn't Sony mention that 2025 was getting a lot of first-party exclusives for PS5? I mean, they heavily insinuated that. They said that they plan to make much more money from first-party games, or from their first-party studios, in 2025, or fiscal year 2025, which begins April 1st, 2025, and ends April 1st, 2026. So... that's what they said, and I think Shinobi 602, he's a well-known insider, very well established. He said that Sony has quite a few things lined up for next year as well. That's why I think it's kind of strange that like there's still no showcase on the horizon where it's like, well, why didn't... I mean, is it conceivable that Sony could maybe be deciding to hold a showcase in early 2025 in like January or February or March even? I mean, I think it's possible, but yeah, and that's true. Plans do change as well, so we always have to keep that in mind that, you know, nothing we hear, even from Sony themselves, I mean, it's not necessarily a guarantee. Yeah, I would bet on that, Jack. You're saying Sony will likely show all trailers running on a PS5 Pro. I think going forward, almost every game we see at these shows is, or at least the bulk of them, it's going to, you know, be running on a PS5 Pro. I do think having a show just dedicated to the Pro for game, like PS5 Pro games, I think that makes a lot of sense. Because I think people are going to want to know. I mean, if you're thinking about spending $600 on a Pro, you're going to want to know. I mean, I want to know right? Like, I'm planning on buying a Pro. I absolutely want to know what games are going to be enhanced. Tell me, Sony, what games? I need to know. What are they going to look like? What are they going to offer? Shane, you're saying I've heard Astro Bot will have a leaderboard challenge mode for the first DLC. That actually sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what type of DLC Astro Bot has. I'm assuming it'll be free DLC. I think they confirmed that. I could see Astro Bot, especially if it sells really well. Like, if Astro sells better than they were expecting, I could see it getting support for quite some time. Concord may have changed the roadmap. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Concord likely changed quite a few things internally for Sony. I mean, I know people are tired of talking about it, and I am too, but it's definitely something that will not be forgotten anytime soon, and for good reason. So I think for now, this is going to wrap up everything. I mean, we'll probably still talk about the PS5 Pro throughout the remainder of the stream, but I do have like 2 other topics I want to go over with you guys. One of the topics is about GTA 6. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but essentially yesterday, let me see if I can bring it up here. Let me find it. Hold on. So 2 days ago, it says here, GTA 6 supposedly delayed to early/mid 2026. This comes from GTA Base. And the post doesn't exist anymore. They deleted the post. Sheesh. But it's still tracked here on Gaming Leaks and Rumors. And the post said, exclusive, GTA 6 has been internally delayed by Rockstar Games, and they've already decided on the early to mid 2026 release window. PC is planned for around 12 to 18 months after the console launch. This information comes from multiple developers across 2 studios. So that came out 2 days ago, and it took the internet by storm because it was being reported basically everywhere. And a lot of people believed it. A lot of people were kind of running with this. And when I was on Twitter, I saw that it was actually trending. And a lot of people were looking to specifically Jason Schreier to debunk this or confirm this or just let people know if it's true or not. And so Jason Schreier tweeted today, and he said a couple of hours ago, quote, "The internet and my DMs blew up this weekend over a rumor that GTA 6 is delayed. The good news is that 6 Rockstar employees all told me that they have not heard of any delay. The bad news, it's a big, ambitious game and could very well slip. Too much time left to say anything definitive." So essentially, Jason Schreier confirms that this recent report about GTA 6 being delayed into 2026 internally was bogus and not true. He was in contact with 6 Rockstar developers, and I think it's safe to say that he wouldn't lie about that. I mean, Jason Schreier has, he has probably the most credibility of any insider or leaker. And he said that they haven't heard anything about any kind of delay. But he does, I feel like what he says at the end here is just kind of obvious. He's simply stating that it is a big, ambitious game and it could slip. And so I just think essentially it ultimately is a nothing burger, right? It's one of these things where, so you're telling me the game is still targeting a fall 2025 release, but everybody also understands that it's a massive game, and as we get closer, it could end up getting delayed. Yes, right now it's not delayed. They did not announce an internal delay, but it's always just kind of in the air that any game can get delayed until it's actually out. right? So I thought this was really interesting because the reactions I was seeing from people based off of this, people were really freaking out at the idea of this game getting delayed. And I think if anything, what it reveals is people just need to kind of like buckle up. Truthfully, like even though we are getting the confirmation that it's not delayed to 2026, I think people need to buckle up and kind of realize that it's still a decent chance like that will happen at some point, like officially. There's a decent chance it could officially get delayed. And I think people just need to chill. You know, I think for me, a game like GTA 6 is one of these titles that I'm totally okay if they don't make it out next year. I think that Rockstar should absolutely take as much time as they need to make sure that the game is everything it needs to be and it's 100% done. I don't want, you know, it's a big deal. The game has been in development for how many years now? Like almost 12 years or something like that. It's, you know, a game that's been in development for like close to 12 years. What's the harm in waiting another year? You know, I feel like we've waited long enough and there's just absolutely no reason in the world to rush it. Tom from Toonami says, oh man, I'm so late. Damn you, Gaines. But I appreciate you still tuning in, man. I mean, if you got to come back and watch the, you know, the stream when it's finished up, that's fine. If GTA 6 gets delayed, game releases next year could be weird because no one is going to want to release around GTA. I mean, yeah, I do think a game like GTA 6, if it were to get delayed, it really does shift the industry around a bit. Certainly, I think developers and publishers will kind of scramble. So, like, for example, right now, every developer and studio is aware that GTA 6 is targeting fall of 2025. So if it gets delayed like sometime next year where it's like actually we're targeting early 2026, what that's going to do is make a lot of development teams basically say, okay, we have to scramble to get this game out before 2026 now. Or maybe the other way where it's like, okay, we were also targeting early 2026, but now we're going to target mid 2026 or later, you know? Just get out of the way. Get out of the way. You mean last gen will be staying another year? I hope not. I mean, I don't know what to think about cross gen. I mean, we know that GTA 6 is not going to be cross gen. I think GTA 6 is going to be a big push forward for the industry, and I think it's going to be needed. But I don't know, like, will next year's Call of Duty still be on PS4? Will next year's sports game still be on PS4? I almost get the feeling that, like, other publishers are just kind of waiting for a game like GTA 6 to just push everything forward. But it might need more than that, you know? It might need a whole new gen. Please don't put that cross-gen energy out there. Yeah, we don't need that energy. We don't need that cross-gen energy. We don't. Yeah, I don't want to see cross-gen linger beyond 2024. That to me would be absurd. I really think that would be absurd. But I don't know, man. The Switch 2 is apparently going to have like similar power to like the PS4 Pro, like a little bit. It's going to be like somewhat better than the PS4 Pro. So I don't know if that will have an impact or not. It probably will. Realistically, that will probably have an impact. If GTA comes out the same time that Call of Duty who wins? GTA wins that. Oh yeah. GTA is going to crush Call of Duty. At least that year. To be clear, Call of Duty will still do well. It'll do fine, but GTA will crush it. I could see Call of Duty getting delayed. If GTA 6 targets like the end of October and that's when the next Call of Duty was supposed to come out, I could see it getting delayed to like the end of November or late November or something like that. And yeah, GTA 6, nothing can compete with it when it launches. Nothing. So I don't think any video game is going to want to be anywhere near it when it drops. We have Kane Z7 saying sport games are always the last to go. FIFA 2019 was the last one for PS3. And we're about to get the PS5. I think you meant to say Pro. Yeah, you know what? The sports games, yeah, I haven't really followed them. That's actually crazy. The last FIFA to release on PS3 was 2019. That is wild. That's crazy. Like, it really did take a whole new generation of console to get them to move on, didn't it? Black Ops was pushed forward 2 weeks when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe you're right about that. Yeah, I could see them trying to push the date up, not back, actually. That does make more sense. Well, let me ask you something. So we spent like the last 2 hours talking about the PS5 Pro, and one of the things we talked about extensively is, you know, this upcoming third-party state of play. The rumor claims it's going to be a third-party state of play. Now, let me ask you something. How much... If Sony announces it's going to be a third-party state of play, people are going to be upset. And they're going to be like, wow, still no first party. But let me ask you this question. How much does that change if GTA 6 shows up? Does that change everything? Because I think it does. I think that changes everything. I think because we didn't consider this. You know? We didn't consider this when we first talked about it. I didn't consider it. I wasn't thinking about it. But I just thought to myself, wait a second. What if that's the plan? GTA 6 trailer number 2 shown off at the state of play running on PS5 Pro. That's a fucking bomb drop, dude. Sony doesn't have to show anything else after that. And may the Lord have mercy on any other game that is at that show. No, you're thinking no way? Yeah, I won't lie. I'm thinking it's a little... I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on it because the timing is kind of right. Like, it feels like we should see a new GTA trailer. But then again, I don't know that Rockstar feels like... I don't know. I think it depends on if there's a deal. Listen, if there is a marketing deal, we did go over that rumor recently that apparently Sony did lock down the marketing rights for GTA 6. If that exists, I feel like it has a decent chance of showing up. Music Carrier saying, awesome Wolverine shirt, MBG. Where'd you get it at, bro? So I can get myself one. I gotta ask Mrs. MBG. She got it for me as a gift recently. I'm not sure where she got it from, though. I really like it, too. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. It's like my favorite shirt right now. So, no, I had to think about this for a moment because I'm like, I don't think anybody would be upset anymore at Sony if they showed up at a state of play with a PS5 Pro enhanced GTA 6 trailer. If GTA 6 shows up, no one will remember the Pro, LOL. Good point. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point, okay. It might have the opposite effect. I don't know, man. There's like no denying that Sony would get a huge win if they could pull that off, but I'm not expecting it. I want to make it clear. Like, I'm not expecting GTA 6 to show up at like a state of play on September 19th. I'm just considering it a possibility, you know. There are many possibilities. Many possibilities. But I do feel like a second trailer for GTA 6 is due any month now, any week now, truthfully. I mean, we're reaching that point. GTA 6 was first revealed what, like December last year? And it like leaked out. I remember it was very unfortunate. Damn, you're saying you're more likely to see a Pro Enhanced Concord announcement than a GTA 6 trailer. Sheesh. I'll keep my expectations low. Mehdi says, where the hell are the first parties? LOL. Dark Demon Media says, OMFG, PlayStation has had GTA marketing rights for every GTA since the PlayStation 1. Why is everyone acting like idiots? Look it up. Well, that's what I don't know, man. It's not that I don't think Sony will have it. I do think Sony will have the marketing rights. And I think that's something that Take-Two Interactive wants to do as well. I think it just makes sense. They want to maximize sales. You know, they want people to know, like, if you want to play GTA, you got to buy a PS5. Like, I mean, it's only being developed for PS5 and Xbox consoles. So it works in Take-Two Interactive's favor as well. But the only thing that's different about GTA 6 is, like, I just feel like the weight behind this game is different than any other game that came before it. I mean, don't get me wrong, GTA 5 was colossal. You know, GTA 4 was huge. I just feel like GTA 6 is on another level, and I just... It's almost difficult for me to imagine Sony actually showing up with a GTA trailer. It would just be like, holy shit. I mean, that's like a firing a silo, you know. It really is just like, okay, well, for anybody wondering why Sony's not showing any first party shit, here's why, you know. That's how big of a deal it is. But yeah, I don't know. We will see what happens. We're going to find out soon enough. That would be crazy. Oh my God, Shadowlink, that would be nuts. Forza Horizon 5, PS5 Pro Enhanced. Holy shit, what if Microsoft does show up? I didn't even think about that. See, you see what I'm saying here? Imagine that, man. Imagine Microsoft's like, oh yeah, we'll show off our game at your state of play. That would be wild. Dude, that would be next level wild. I don't believe that will happen. I don't believe that. To me, that sounds more unrealistic than GTA 6. Dior says, MBG, very reliable leaker from Reset Era Forum, John Harker, just said this Trinity tomorrow, Royal end of the month. He said Royal isn't from Nintendo, so could be Xbox or Sony. Thoughts? Trinity tomorrow, Royal at the end of the month. Well, I mean, we know that Sony's going to be at TGS at the end of the month. And TGS is, I mean, this is the first time they're showing up in 5 years. Yeah, that's true. You're saying Trinity is the code name of PS5 Pro. So Royal sounds like a... It does sound kind of like a code name. You know what it makes me think of? I'm not trying to be like... I'm just saying that, you know what it actually makes me think of? The codename Royal. You remember the 2021 PlayStation Showcase? That video that they opened up with, where it was like they were playing a chess match, and it was like a king playing a chess match. Just kind of made me think of that. Uh-oh. It's a new controller. I'm not seeing anybody reporting on it yet. Dior, I guess, like, did he literally just say this in the forum? Because I'm on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. I don't see anything posted on it. Mark Cerny ASMR tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, so I'm assuming if you just posted it, it'll probably be picked up in a little bit. It'll be picked up in a little bit by Gaming Leaks and Rumors, and I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not sure what that could mean. Not sure what it could mean. Yeah. I'll see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. Reset era. John Harker. I don't know how to use this form. I don't use reset era. So I'm on. Okay, I can't look any deeper into it without having an account. I'm not going to make an account. Yeah, by the way, guys, hit that like button for me if you haven't already. You guys are doing amazing. We're sitting at over 350 likes already. So you guys are killing it today. Let's see if we can get a big push for 375 likes. I'd really appreciate that. It's been helping the streams. It's been helping the channel a lot. Royal is very likely going to be referring to Switch 2. Well, I think she confirmed that he confirmed it's not talking about Nintendo or Xbox. Orange says Reset Era doesn't even have a search function. Trash website. Sega used Royal code names. You know, it's interesting. You mentioned Sega. I think there was a rumor earlier this year that Sony had actually licensed out a game to Sega. I completely forget where that rumor came from, but I remember reading that Sony licensed some kind of IP for Sega to make a new game in. If I'm not mistaken, that rumor that I'm referring to claimed that Sony actually started licensing out a bit of their IP to other publishers. Royal equals Ghost of Tsushima 2. Maybe Naughty Dog. Maybe something related, because I don't know, like Naughty Dog could be like considered the king PlayStation studio. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Sounds very un-Sony. Sounds very Herman though. Sounds very Herman Hulse-like. It probably refers to Kojima. I bet you Royal is something related to Kojima Productions or something. Because I don't know, man. If it's at the end of the month, again, it's TGS and Sony's going to be there. Orange, you're saying MBG. I think I figured out a very complicated theory about Sony's reveals, but I don't know if I have enough letters in a message to write it out. LMAO. I mean, you could try, but I don't even know that I want to hear this theory, Orange. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I've been trying to figure out the rhyme and the reason behind everything Sony does this entire gen, and I just can't figure it out. Jack says Royal could be something hardware related. The reason why I don't think it's hardware related is because I think we would have heard about it from Tom Henderson. Tom Henderson has been on point with everything hardware related. So I don't know. You're going to try to write it anyway. Okay. The next batch of Xbox games coming to the king, PlayStation. Yeah, that'd be a funny way. That'd be a hell of a way. That'd be a hell of a code name. The craziest thing about that is that would be a code name from Microsoft at that point. And yeah, I don't know that I would go that far. I don't know that I could get behind the idea of Microsoft referring to PlayStation as the king. Unless it was some like really upset, angry, disgruntled Xbox employee that's like, I hate Microsoft now. Royal could be anything. Sony finally did it. Royal is a full body Ready Player One setup, but it's third party. I'm waiting to see this posted on the Gaming Leaks Rumor subreddit. Somebody's got to pick it up, right? Tom Henderson, 1 minute ago. From prototyping to release, Mark Cerny and the PlayStation hardware team took 19 months in total. They never missed a single deadline. Impressive stuff. So Tom Henderson giving us some further insight here. Wait, where is it? It didn't take me to his tweet. Okay. Tom Henderson said from prototyping to release, Mark Cerny and the PlayStation hardware team took 19 months in total, and they never missed a single deadline. Impressive stuff. Hold on, let me see if I can post the Mark Cerny GIF. Damn, I need to find a Mark Cerny picture. Wait, can I use my... Let me see if I can use my my emote. The one that we use on the channel here. All right. I used it. I used my exclusive Mark Cerny emote. So stupid. I used that exact one. Yeah. Saying, man, I'm an Xbox fan, but Astro Bot is the game I'm most jealous of. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've been seeing some weird stuff on Twitter. No surprise there. Just some weird reactions from some people where it's like, I don't know, man. There's already people arguing whether or not Astro Bot's going to go to PC or not. It's like, can we at least give it like a month, guys? Like just 1 month, you know? Xbox's new hardware is called Brooklyn from the leaks we saw. I'm trying to find yeah, I'm not seeing anybody talking about this, so I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. Or I'll keep an eye on it. Well, I only have one other topic that I wanted to cover with you guys. Speaking of Astro Bot, so I keep hitting my. I think if you guys have been hearing any kind of like weird sounds with my microphone today, kind of randomly or spontaneously, I realize it's because I accidentally keep stepping on the wire. It's like right below my feet, so I think that's probably what's been causing it. Just because some people were complaining about the audio earlier, but I just got to be careful for that, because if I step on it hard enough, I'm going to like rip the... Orange says, you got to focus, man. Everything is so simple and out there. I'm 99% sure that the show will be on September 20th, as that's when the Nier anime is getting its last episode. An anime seems to be linking to a new game. All Nier games were always exclusive to PlayStation since the 6th gen and marketed by Sony. It would make sense if they announced the sequel on the same day as the anime is getting its last episode. Now, what's even funnier is that the series director is finally coming to TGS and will be there. At that time, Sony is hosting their booth. All these small dots connecting to each other, MBG, just have to lock it in. All Nier games were fully /time exclusive to PlayStation, so this one would probably be as well. And it might be one of the last Sony /Square exclusive deals made back in 2018. It's an interesting theory, actually. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I would have never thought of that. I think it might be on to something, Orange. We're right around the corner, man. We're gonna find out. Well, I do have one other topic I want to cover with you guys before we wrap this up. I have a write-up here where the title reads, Astro Bot 2 would have to be something fresh, says director. Launching last week, Astro Bot has got off to a stellar start, enjoying universal critical acclaim and, by the looks of it, commercial success to match. Of course, with the game just barely a few weeks old, it's nowhere close to the time for conversations about a potential sequel, but given the success that the platformer is enjoying, it's only natural to wonder what developer Team Asobi has in mind for the future of the IP. Speaking in a recent interview on YouTuber SkillUp's Friends Per Second podcast, when asked about the future of Astrobot director and Team Asobi studio head Nicolas Duché briefly explained that anything that the studio does going forward would, quote, have to be something fresh, end quote, rather than something that's just more of the same. Getting a character off the ground is really, really difficult if you think about any IP, he said. The Astro IP is also very flexible, so we'll continue kind of thinking about game ideas. It'd have to be something fresh. That's also very important to us. We don't want to just be doing the same thing, so time will tell, end quote. Now, it's not like a major, it's not like they're saying, hey, we're here confirming a sequel, but it's just, to me, interesting to hear what the studio director of Team Asobi has to say about, like, at all, about what's next for Astro Bot, because I was wondering that myself. And so he straight up says it would have to be something fresh. And I do just kind of wonder, what would be fresh? Astro turn-based JRPG. I mean, that would be pretty fresh. I mean, a lot of you guys were saying yesterday you're thinking Astro Kart. That would be fresh for the Astro IP. But it seems to confirm at least one thing, which I did already suspect. And it seems to confirm that it's not going to be like whatever, I guess, Astro Bot is, like a 3D platformer and having cameos. It's not going to be that. It'll be something very different. And I absolutely think that we're clearly going to get more Astro, but I'm assuming the next time we'll see Astro is probably at the launch or around the launch of the PlayStation 6. I could see that. I think that's something Sony would definitely want to try to have ready to go. Yeah, basically Sony's Mario now. Got to have them there at the launch of new hardware, new generation anyway. But I just wanted to share that with you guys briefly because I just want it to be known that the director has acknowledged the idea of going beyond Astro Bot and doing something else. But it is a little too early to tell. You know, it's a little too early to say. Right now, I think that, you know, Team Asobi should probably take a little break. I think they've earned it. Astro Bot Party multiplayer. I will say, actually, you know what? Yeah, they could do something. I don't know if it would be like a full-blown Mario Party ripoff, but they could do something with multiplayer, because if I'm not mistaken, they did confirm that they actually did have they were messing around with some kind of co-op for Astro Bot, but it just like didn't work out for one reason or another. I guess maybe it just didn't make sense for them with this game. So I also want to point out that we did cover, I believe, an interview prior to the release of Astro Bot where Nicolas Duché, the director at Team Asobi, he pretty much confirmed that all the ideas they come up with, if they don't use it in their game, they put it away. Like, they don't just forget it or delete it. Like, they actually put it away. So they have like this giant idea box of stuff that just couldn't really work in the current game they're making, but might be something they go to later on. And so I think that's interesting, because it's getting a little bit of insight into how the studio works and how they craft their games. And I wouldn't be surprised if even right now they're kind of like looking through that idea box and thinking, where should we go next? Right. So really interesting stuff there. But guys, we're going to do like a last call here for any fan funding. I don't want this stream to go too long, because I don't have too many topics to cover. I did basically cover everything I wanted to hit on today. I did already release a video for you today. A very short one, only 3 minutes. You can go check that out if you want. But we're going to do a last call here for any membership gifts, any type of fan funding. I'm just going to chat with you guys for about another 5 or 10 minutes. So if you have any more super chats, you want to drop any more direct donations or any more membership gifts, now would be the time to do it. And we will be streaming the Mark Cerny technical presentation tomorrow. I'll be going live about an hour and a half earlier than I usually do, so that way I can talk to you guys for a couple minutes, and then we'll watch it live, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Astro's Big Adventure. You hope Sony comes out and overwhelms MBG with content and hardware. That would be exciting. I would welcome that. What time tomorrow? So for me, I'm going to go live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So that'll be about 30 minutes before Mark Cerny's presentation. A sequel name for Astro Bot 2, if it has co-op, they can call it Super Astro Bros. No way, man. That would be terrible. Super Astro Bros. That's just wrong. That's just straight up wrong. Let me see. That's funny. The iPhone 16 Pro was announced today, I guess. I don't really pay too much attention to Apple. That's funny. iPhone 16 Pro announced. PS5 Pro announced. Imagine finding Astro in other flagship games, and once you find him, you can opt to play a level based off that particular game. You get a trophy for it, too. You forgot that the new iPhone was supposed to be announced today? That's how boring iPhones have become. I mean, you do have to wonder how long it can go on for, you know? Like, iPhone 22. Are people still going to care that much? Ugh. Oh, man. It's getting really hot in this room, bro. I'm gonna have to end this stream like sooner than expected, because I'm gonna have to turn the air conditioning on. Like, I don't know. It's probably really nice outside. It's probably nice around the rest of the house. I think it's just this room. I think the computer generating like a lot of heat. Kane Z7 says, should Sony sell Astro Bot figures like amiibos? Oh God, no. I hope not, Kane. That would be very annoying. I mean, I don't know how people feel about amiibos, but I wouldn't want to see Sony do something like that. I wouldn't want to see that. I think if they want to do like some merch, which they, you know, they already kind of do, I think that's fine, but not like amiibos. You think that's what they're going to do? Oh man, they could, yeah. They could if they wanted to. I think there are some Astro figures out there already, if I'm not mistaken. Let Mark rise tomorrow. Nendoroid. Nendroid, is that what it's called? I think I know the figures you're talking about. I've seen a few of them. I don't have any, but I've seen them. Cernius will ascend tomorrow. I like the energy, guys. I like the energy. I'm feeling it. Remember, temper expectations. It's just going to be a technical presentation. Mark Cerny is the star of the show. When you unlock item for a character on Astro Bot, Sony can sell the characters like that. Yeah. Capono says, I'm so happy Sony finally decided to come out of the shadows. Well, like I said, Astro Bot kicks off the first week of September. Mark Cerny continues with the second week with the PS5 Pro presentation. State of Play the third week, and then Tokyo Game Show, I think, closes the last week. Let me double check that. Yep. So we're in the second week of September now. The Pro gets announced tomorrow, and then either later this week or sometime next week, the State of Play gets announced for the third week, which is going to happen on probably the 19th. And then the last week, Tokyo Game Show kicks off on Thursday, September 26th. So Sony's got the whole month filled up, man. I have not finished Astro Bot yet. I'm still making my way through it. I'm probably going to play a little bit later today. Did not pick up Space Marine 2 yet. I'm going to. I want to play Space Marine 2. So that's a game that I'm at some point I'm going to pick up. Techtember. You just bought Space Marine 2? How is it? I've been hearing really good things about it. Let me make sure I didn't miss any direct donations. Okay. Say you bought Space Marine as well. You're going to play later today. It's amazing. Feels like an old school game. It's a Warhammer game the franchise deserves. Irfan, you're saying the State of Play could be announced during tomorrow's event? Yeah, well, we'll see if they want to make any further announcements tomorrow or if they want to hold off. But either way, I'm excited for tomorrow. Be a lot to talk about for sure. When it comes to Space Marine 2, yeah, I'm planning on picking that up. I just don't know when I'm going to, but I will. It's a game I definitely want to play. I feel like time is flying, man. Like I can't believe like we're not necessarily halfway through September, but you know, it's just the days are going quick. I've been very busy. Not a bad thing. Nintendo fanboys on X are accusing Astro Bot of copying various gameplay from their games. I can't even. That's a little weird. Yeah. I don't understand that. Like, I mean, it's definitely inspired, but come on, who cares? They're both like, I saw a comparison video that was uploaded the other day. It was like Astro Bot compared to Mario Odyssey, and it was kind of interesting to see them compared. But I don't know, man. They're definitely pretty distinct, I would say, very much so. I just got back from watching the Apple event, and iPhone 16s have hardware ray tracing. Uh-oh. I don't even know what to make of that, bro. What do we even make of that? My iPhone has ray tracing. That's what I heard. I heard that Space Marine 2 is very reminiscent of like Gears of War, which is pretty cool. So guys, listen, I'm about to wrap this stream up. I want to see, before we wrap it up though, let's do it. All right, we have almost 400 people still here. I want to see a big push right now. We're at 371 likes. Let's push for 400 likes. I think we could do it. We need 29 likes and we hit 400. Can we do it? I think we can. Let's push for 400 likes. I want to see how quick we can get there. Unknown says, we need 25 gifted memberships so MBG can do reps. Well, we did hit 26, and we fed the Beast and the Micro Panther like I said we would. It is true. In order for me to do reps, we got to hit 50. So you got about 60 seconds, I'd say. If somebody wants to drop a 20 bomb and then a 5 bomb or a 50 bomb, you go right ahead. Just don't drop it after 60 seconds, because if you do that, I probably will have ended the stream, and that would be pretty depressing. At least for the person who gifted those memberships. We're at 392. Wow, you guys really took that seriously. We're at 392 likes. You were not playing around. So we're just 8 likes away from hitting 400. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Sorry to sound like overly redundant pushing for likes, but it's just because it's actually been helping quite a bit. And anybody who takes the time to like the stream, you know, you are helping it out. You're helping kind of put the stream out there in front of new wow, look at that. We have a 95% like ratio. That's great. That's amazing. That's actually, like, I think, yeah, that's surprisingly high for a stream. So good shit, guys. Appreciate everything you have done and continue to do for the channel. So there we go. We did it.
Holy shit.
We hit 400 likes, bro. We did it. So thank you guys so much for making that happen. And this will be a good place to end the stream. We're going to have another stream coming early tomorrow morning so we can ascend to Cernyism together. It'll be a good time. But before I head out, guys, I want to just extend a massive thank you to everybody who has shown support. To everybody who gifted memberships today, thank you for getting us to the goal of 25. To anybody who dropped a super chat, very much appreciate it. And also to anybody who dropped a direct donation. Again, this channel is sponsor free. We are 100% fan funded. So to everybody out there who's showing any kind of fan funding, it's because of you that I'm able to do this. And we're able to continue to grow this community. So thank you so much for everything. Also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for the streams. If you guys see him in the comments, show him some love. Give him some thanks. I know he really appreciates it. He does a great job with the timestamps, and it really helps the community. So Devil Shooter, thank you so much for what you do, bro. And yeah, that's it. So I'm probably going to go play some Astro Bot in a little bit, actually, and just kind of figure out what else I got to get done for the day. And so I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day, evening, night. I will see you guys back here tomorrow a little bit earlier than usual. and it should be a good time. So that does it. I'm out, guys. I will catch everybody tomorrow. So until then, take care, everyone.